Not to worry. Oh, hello. It's lovely to see you again. It's been a little while. How did your quest go through the mountains? Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad to hear it. You didn't get hurt at all, did you? Do you need your healer to whip you up anything? Good. I mean, you know I'm always here to help when you need it, but of course I would prefer that you don't need a healer, that you just don't get hurt or cursed or something like that. Of course I'm always here to help if you do. Well, welcome back then. I hope that life in the village is progressing as normal. Any ailments or anything like that that I should know about that I can whip up for someone? All right, all right. How is the baker doing? I brought him a potion last week. Is he feeling better? Ah, good, good. I'm so glad. You can't have a lovely, quaint village without a wonderfully talented and jolly baker, can you? Well, I'm glad that the scents of fresh baked bread are back every morning. That's wonderful to hear. Well, happy spring to you, my dear. I hope that you've been enjoying the wonderful turn of the season as we move from winter into the beautiful spring. Good. You know, this has become one of my favourite seasons. When I first moved to the surface from the Underdark, springtime and summer were admittedly not my favourite. It was just the sun still hurt my eyes and my skin a little bit, and well, it just wasn't what I was used to. I felt much more calm, I suppose, in winter. But after being on the surface for a while and getting to know what life up here is like, getting to know some people from the surface too, it's become one of my favourite times. The way that the whole world just wakes up and stretches. The birds come back and start their chirping again. The trees, all of the bare branches start to grow their little green buds of leaves. And then, of course, the flowers, the grass, the meadows turning green again, and then rich with all the different colours of the flowers. It's a beautiful season of growth, of course, of new life, and also just of hope and promises being kept. You know, winter is, of course, an important season for the world to rest a little bit. But if we were in eternal winter, then it would get rather dreary. Spring is nature's promise that life will start again. If we didn't have spring, then winter would be unbearable. Of course, if we didn't have winter, we wouldn't get to have spring, but it's a cycle. Nature can be quite unpredictable, but in some ways, it's very comforting that she is so predictable. Well, I'm actually rather glad that you're here today. I was just about to do just a very simple little ritual having to do with spring. Seeing as it is the season of growth and rebirth, it's a wonderful time to manifest things that you want in your life. It's a wonderful time to take stock of your life and think about things that you want to grow and cultivate, or perhaps something that you want to begin. It's a wonderful, wonderful season for taking stock of what is good in your life, what you should be feeding and cultivating, and perhaps looking at things that you can let go to. So, if you would like, you are, of course, more than welcome to join me. It's going to be rather simple, but hopefully we'll just give some time of reflection, refreshing the energy. Right, good, good. Well, before we actually get started, I do need to just mix up some more black salt for us to use, alright? Oh, yes, I make my own black salt. It's rather simple, really. All black salt is, well, salt, any sort of natural salt, which is wonderful for cleansing, for preparing different spells, any of that sort of thing. And ash. This is ash from different incense that I burned and a little bit of spell work. Always the more positive spells, not necessarily banishing negativity, but inviting positivity. That's what goes into this little cauldron here. So I was just working to break up any of the larger bits that might still be in here, so it should be nice and smooth. And then I can mix up some black salt for us to use. And after that we can begin our little springtime celebration, right? Okay. Here we are. You can see I've got my ash here. As I said, should be all broken up now. Just nice and fine. Now, personally, black salt, I think it's okay if there's little bits that might be a bit bigger, but I do like to have it a little bit smooth. There we go. So we'll be using that. And then I've got my salt over here. This is a lovely pink salt. It naturally contains more minerals in it than just a white salt. And it's wonderful for spell work. I use pink salt all the time, but I also like to use it when I make my black salt. So I'll just use those, place them in this new glass vessel here. Just do a nice few spoonfuls of that. There we go. And then this one here. There. Now, black salt can be used in quite a lot of different rituals and spell work. All salt is good for purifying and for amplifying magical energy. And when you have the added ash in there, it just adds a bit more personal power to it, I suppose. Now, some people add other things to their black salt as well, like black pepper or even eggshells. You can crush up and use that as well. It's really just up to personal preference. Might add more salt, I think. Right. Yeah, a few more spoonfuls of salt here. There we go. Good. That should do it. Of course it's still going to be dark in colour, but just like to have a good balance of the salt and the ash. There we go. Lovely. Now I think we're ready to move on to our little spring celebration. There we are. Set that to the side. Put the lid back on my Now, for our springtime celebration here, I've got a few little tokens of springtime on my altar here. A little bird, some little mushrooms, and then these little candles that I made myself. They're from an eggshell, you can see there. I just preserved the shell and dried it, and then the candle is made from beeswax, and it's got some rose, lavender, and rosemary on top. Some wonderful herbs for bringing about growth, love, abundance, new life, and cleansing away negativity as well. All wonderful for springtime. But before we light those, I thought that we might start by lighting some incense here. So what I had picked out was this one. These are little cones of rose incense. Now rose, you'll see that as a recurring theme today. Rose is a beautiful flower for instilling love, whether that's romantic love, platonic love, self-love, or any of those kinds of things. Now this incense cone has just a very nice, gentle rose scent. It's not going to be completely overpowering, but it just gives a beautiful, fresh, freeing scent, I think. So I'm just going to light that for us. With these cones, you just have to light the tip of them for a moment, and then blow it out, and it will burn. Okay. There we are. There. You can see it's glowing there. Perfect. See, it's just a very nice, gentle floral scent there. It's one of my favourites, especially when working in the springtime. So that smoke will just continue to cleanse our space and prepare our minds. Now I'm also going to cleanse the vessel we'll be using today. It's just a glass vessel. I've already cleaned it, but we'll just cleanse it in our incense as well. Just hold it over there. Let the smoke accumulate inside of it. Just a moment. Just imbuing the vessel with good, clean, refreshing energy. Removing anything residual that might be there. I don't think there's anything, but just in case. There we are. Good. Now, as you breathe in this lovely incense, I want you to start thinking about what you would like to invite into your life today. What you would like in this season of your life to cultivate, to grow, to strengthen, or perhaps just to begin as well. Springtime is a wonderful time for opportunities, whether that's developing opportunities or bringing in new opportunities. So take a nice deep breath in and let it out. Good. Now just put this over to the side for now. That will of course keep burning, giving our space some lovely cleansing, but I'll just move it to the side for now. Now let's light our little egg candles here, okay? And again, as we do that, we can think about the lovely energies and opportunities and beauty of spring, where the world starts to show her loveliness once more. There we go. Those will burn gently as we continue. Gives a nice little glow, doesn't it? Right. To make sure our space here is nice and clean. There we go. Right, and now for our lovely spring celebration. Here is our glass vessel. Are we already cleansed? We're going to create a little miniature altar, I suppose, or a spell jar that we can keep on our altar for the season and then refresh when it comes to summer, of course. So first up, into our spell jar, we're going to add some of this. Very simple ingredient, but essential to so many things. This is some lovely, rich soil. Now, this is soil that is from my garden that I have enriched with some different herbs, eggshells, all kinds of lovely things. Some compost to make nice and rich. So just as the soil is the base for growing new life in the spring, it will also be the base for our spell jar today. All things start small, start perhaps a bit humble, but with proper growth and nutrients, cultivation, they can grow into something wonderful. There we go. Should give us a nice base there. Next, I'm going to add a bit of this. This is some lovely forest moss that I've collected. It's one of the first things to come back in the forest as springtime starts. It's a beautiful reminder that life can begin again. Bring us that lovely green of the season. A season of growth, of healing, of rebirth, just as the forest awakens. So can our souls in springtime. There we are. Good, good, good. Now, let's add some other herbs, shall we? I've got a lovely little mix over here that I've already prepared. In here, I've got rose, of course, some lemongrass, which is wonderful for cleansing and energy. A very exotic, beautiful flower called hibiscus, which is also wonderful for love and energy, and a few other flowers of the forest as well. So just sprinkle that in here gently, just bringing about some life from the forest. Now these are herbs that I grew and harvested and dried last season, last year, in the summer and the autumn. But they will help to encourage the growth once more this season. Good. Alright, now let's say we add in some crystals. These little ones here. These are lovely aquamarine crystal shards here. It's a beautiful crystal associated with the spring equinox and springtime in general. It's a crystal that brings about clarity, energy, and growth. And this one here, this is called strawberry quartz. You can see it's a lovely quartz stone that's got sort of a pinkish quality to it. Strawberry quartz is wonderful for cleansing, just like other quartz, and amplifying magic. But it also is associated with love, and especially self-love. There. What a lovely little spell jar there. Perfect. Now I'm going to take one of our little egg candles and just place it right in the centre here to remind us to light the fires within. Candles are wonderful conduits of magic, I suppose you could say. And the egg is a symbol of springtime. Of course, a symbol of growth, new beginnings, fertility, yes, but also a chance for new opportunities. So as we look at our little spell jar here, I want you to think about what sort of opportunities you want to grow, alright? Where you want to be focusing your energy. Sometimes we work to focus our energy to save things, perhaps, that are not worth saving, or just on things that are not necessarily good for us. But today, with our little spell jar here, we're going to focus on the good and ask the spirits to bring us new opportunities and growth for this season. Now, last, I'm going to add in the black salt that we already made. Just sprinkle that around the edge here. Black salt, as I said, is wonderful for cleansing, keeping any sort of negativity at bay, protection, but also wonderful at amplifying energy and creating intentions. Springtime is a wonderful, wonderful season for intentions. There. Now, let's take a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Welcoming in the energies of springtime, the energies of newness, of hope. You know, the Drow goddess, Illustrator, that I follow. She's the only Drow goddess that one might consider good. All the others are rather self-serving or downright evil, but Illustrator is the goddess of life, love, growth, dancing and the arts. All of those things that make life worth living, really. I think she would rather like springtime too. So there we have our little springtime in a jar, altar jar here. I'll let these candles keep burning until they go out on their own. Now, if you would like, I thought we could do one more little thing. I have a beautiful set of oracle cards that I think would be quite lovely for today. This set of cards in here, these are my goddess oracle cards. Each card depicts a different goddess from different beliefs around the world. Each of them have a different energy that they bring with them. Quite lovely cards here. So I thought that we could maybe pull one of these cards today for some guidance, bringing in the energies of spring with us. Right. So I'm going to shuffle these, and then you can tell me when to stop, alright? Just tell me when, dear. Wonderful. Shall we cut to the deck then? And we'll see what the goddesses have in store for us this springtime. Interesting. What a lovely card here. Estrella, the goddess of truth. It's a wonderful thing to have growing, isn't it? Truth, authenticity, being ourselves. All of these things depicted in a goddess of truth. Of course, it can also bring with it feelings of discernment, being able to find the truth in people, in different situations. So maybe this means that we will start to be able to discern different situations. Perhaps we've been in a state of limbo, of not knowing what to do or what the path in front of us will entail. Perhaps this is the season where we'll get some answers. Or maybe this means that in order to pursue what it is that we want to cultivate, we need to be our truest self. We need to trust in our authenticity and our truth. Interesting. Quite a few different possibilities for that. I like that one. to be a lovely reminder for spring. There we are. Just have that card right there to remind us to search for truth, believe in our own truth, and to be thankful for truth. Well, thank you for joining me today for a lovely little celebration of the energies of spring. I hope that it perhaps gave you some insight or just helped refresh the spirit. Springtime is a wonderful reminder that even the darkest of days come to an end. There is always a light after the dark. And as we've passed the spring equinox, the days will start to get longer and warmer as we race into the vibrancy of summer. And then, of course, the abundance and the bounty of autumn. And then back to winter, of course, the time to rest and reflect. But then again comes spring. No matter what sort of darkness that you may be facing in the world, it's wonderful to have a reminder from nature that the light always returns. Well, thank you for joining me today, and have a wonderful